What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shit Show. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Costanzo. With me, as always, Brian Rooney.
Hello.
And welcome back, Matt.
Hello, guys.
So, where were you last week?
I had a couple of problems that snowballed into the eventual missing of the show.
Including
Explain.
a very belligerent phone call.
Well, to be fair, I don't remember the phone call, but let's uh, take it from the beginning, I guess. So last week, I was at a friend's two weekends ago. At this point, I was at a friend's housewarming party, and I get there a little bit late because all the trains are screwed up, and he asks me to go in the kitchen and make myself a drink, make myself a drink. Um,
The
so I,
nerve, right?
so I go in there and like he's got a real nice setup, and there's like a full bar in the kitchen. Lots of different types of liquor, and there's like a fresh basket of fruit to chop up if you want like a piece of lime or lemon in your drink, orange, whatever. So I reach for the gin like I always do, pour a glass, and I reach for a lime, and I start slicing up the lime, and I'm like, well, I got to slice up this whole lime. I can't just get like one piece of lime for myself. That would be pretty
You
inconsiderate.
just that
So
dick that cuts the wedge out of the whole line.
I actually, well, no, well, so I did that, and then I went back, like my hand was already off it, and I went back and proceeded to cut up the rest of the lime. On my very last cut of the lime, I cut off a real solid chunk of my fingertip. So, I've only been here at this point. I've been there like I don't know 3 minutes less, and I'm in a room surrounded by people, and I'm trying to play it off like I'm not profusely bleeding on the cutting board, like really bad. So
No,
I'm
I'm
like,
good.
so I go to my buddy, and I'm trying to keep it like hidden, and I just kind of casually throw the knife in the sink, and the lime away. And he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Oh, there's like something on it." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "My blood." And he's like, "What? What's going on?" And I'm like, oh, "I kind of cut myself. Do you have like a Band-Aid or two, or nine, and a couple of stitches?" And so he takes me to the bathroom. He's like, "No, man, I just moved in. This is like it was his housewarming party." So he's like, "I just moved in, so no." So I'm like, "Great." So I went across the street to Rite Aid. This whole time I'm just bleeding into like a paper towel, basically. And I'm like, I'll send you guys pictures if you really want. But like the finger, like I can't even tell how bad it's cut because the whole tip of my finger is unrecognizable. It's just like mangled,
The
basically. Like
best
I've
part of this, though, people like start to get pale when they lose a lot of blood. You're already pale, so no one would be able to know if you lost a lot of blood.
oh
He
yeah,
gets transparent.
you'd have no. I start to get a real solid tan while I'm about to pass out. That's how it goes. It's like, where you've been, Bermuda? No, I've just lost many pints of blood. Um, so I go across the street to Rite Aid. I'm just bleeding profusely. Of course, there's a line at Rite Aid, so I'm holding like an entire package of Band-Aids. I'm like waiting as I just bleed into this thing. At no point does the blood stop, and I just start wrapping it up with Band-Aids while I'm still in Rite Aid because I want to go on the party fresh. Like I left as a guy in pieces. I wanted to come and calm, cool, collect. Um, so I just finish the night, start drinking. I actually felt like an asshole. What's your take on? Do you have to bring a gift to a housewarming? Like I had to commute to this kid's house. It took me like 90 minutes to commute there. I feel like my gift was my presence. Other people are showing up with like Maker's Mark and no nice bottles of
If it's
wine.
if it's
So
if it's like a legit housewarming, then yeah, you bring something.
Yeah, I think
okay.
the purpose of a housewarming party is to extort gifts from your friends.
Right.
So what I ended up gifting him is the rest of the Band-Aids. Because
and the
Well, that
and
was
the
a
piece
good
of
gift. He needed
he
it.
he
and the
didn't.
piece of your finger.
Right. Well, and I guess I also took from him a lime and a knife. So, um, but I did leave the Band-Aid. So that was kind of the first like crap. And then I didn't really think about it. I've never had to have stitches before, so I guess I didn't realize that this obviously qualified as one of those times. But I'm pretty non-confrontational, and I'm like, look, I'm already here. I'm drinking. My finger doesn't particularly hurt, although it does hurt to look at. I don't have any pain, so I just leave it, start drinking again. And then I wake up and I try to take the Band-Aids off, and there's just like just a smorgasbord of blood and like Band-Aids stuck to the blood, and it's just like a massacre scene on my finger. Then I'm like, yeah, I should probably go to like the walk-in clinic or something like that.
So you cut a chunk of your finger off, you're bleeding all over the place, and you're like, let me get some alcohol in me, thin this out.
Yeah, it probably didn't help
get that flowing a little bit better.
So then, like, say that happened at like maybe 11 p.m. I don't go to the doctor until 7 or 8 p.m. the next day. So like, pretty much 24 hours later. And the guy's just like, when did this happen? I'm like, yesterday. And he goes, what time yesterday? I'm like, I don't know why I got so defensive. He's obviously just asking for medical purposes, but I just go, I don't know, man.
It's probably because you're an idiot. If you don't recall the phone call, I think we discussed it last time, but you told me you were going to be on in a few minutes at 11:20, and it was after 11:20, so I obviously don't understand how time works. Maybe that's why.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm not up to that part of the.
This
I'm not
is
up to that
2
part of
weeks
the
ago.
story.
This is a week before.
Yeah.
The incident where he doesn't show up, so we're still building up.
Don't try to pull that Tarantino shit, jumping back and forth in time. I'm trying to tell a sequential story here.
I don't understand his movies.
Right, clearly. So I'm bleeding, and I go to him. I get offended. What? I don't know, man. What time I got my finger cut yesterday? And he's like, well, the reason I'm asking you, like now he's getting a little snippy with me. He's like, well, the reason I ask you is if it's more than 12 hours, I can't give you stitches. I'm like, oh yeah, we're well past that. So I'm like, so what's the alternative? He's like, well, I'm just gonna clean you up. I'm gonna clean you up and stick a couple Band-Aids on you and see what happens. And I was like, all right, I like that plan. So he just like cleans me up, and he puts like like those little like butterfly bandages that are maybe like half an inch big and
that are in all the movies
and pretty narrow. Yeah. So he just puts like, I don't know, 30 on the cut, and then wraps me up good with like gauze and like some huge bandages and medical tape and a splint all over my thumb. He gives me a tetanus shot, and I'm like, hey man, look, I don't really come to the doctor often. It actually took something like this for me to come. Like, while I'm here, I have had a cough for the past week or so.
Did you say for the past 3 years?
No, week.
All right.
I'm like, look, man, I have had a cough for the past week. Really appreciate if you can check that out. It's one of those the City MDs, which by the way are fantastic. Highly recommend the City MDs in a pinch when you can't make an appointment. So I'm like, yeah, can you check this out? And he starts tinkering around, asking me questions. Fast forward 2 minutes later, he goes, yeah, you have bronchitis. I'm like, well, that's not good. So now he's like literally doing calculations of what medicines he can give me in conjunction with the fingertip being messed up. He's like, well, I got to give you something for pain, but I also got to give you this. So I walk out of there with like codeine cough syrup, antibiotics. I got a tetanus shot and a tetanus booster, and also some sort of anti-inflammatory, 4 or 5 medicines total. And like there's all these like weird instructions. I'm on a nasal spray too. I'm like setting alarms on my phone. It's a whole mess.
So I'm doing bubble.
So of course all this happens. I'm traveling the next day for work for the week. So I'm like, well, this is awesome. And he's like, he had to write me like a TSA note in case they're like, why do you have all these prescription drugs on you? And it's all, most of them are like, the codeine cough syrup. It's like a liquid. TSA is not big on liquid, so gives me a note, and ends up not being an issue. So I fly down to DC, which in itself is a story that I'm not going to get into. Never fly from New York to DC. I got delayed 3.5 hours for a 44-minute flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, welcome to my life, buddy.
Yeah, so now I know it's train. I think it goes train first, then drive, then walk, then fly. That's going to be my new order of operations and figuring out how to get there. Um, so I get down to DC for work, and these work things get a little out of control, and in the drinking, and you're hanging out with colleagues, and I'm lucky enough to work in an industry where a lot of people are the same age, and you're just out drinking, having a good time at night for some of these things, and getting up real early in the morning to bells and whistles, and go to all your conferences and meetings and things. So one of the nights, we're drinking hard, and I don't even think to realize how much medicine I'm on that I probably shouldn't drink like at all. Like I didn't even the thought didn't even occur to me. So all I know is that I woke up and I'm like, I don't remember leaving dinner, which was like really early in the night. And then just a hodgepodge of like text messages. I'm trying to figure out what happened the night before. So apparently I spoke to Brian on the phone. So that's kind of how
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. So I can't be held accountable if I don't remember.
I don't think that's how life works.
That's pretty much it. I mean, it's funny. Like I was talking to coworkers, and I didn't really know what was going on. It was from what I hear, it was a potentially scary moment for me. I was definitely fully functional, but I was so out of it that it wasn't good for anybody.
All I remember is I'll be on at 11:20, 11:20, 11:20. Just a few more minutes, Matt. It's 11:35.
Mm.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey, I got a few minutes. I got a few minutes.
Yeah, it was bad. I ended up getting lost, even though it was like 3 doors down from my hotel. I called Liz and I said I'm lost, and she's like, "Well, where are you?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm lost." She was trying to be helpful with maps and things, and I wasn't being very helpful at all. But it's over now, and
And you're back.
And you're not dead.
Glad to be back. I'm over all my medicine, so I don't have bronchitis anymore. Ain't nobody got time for that anyway.
Minus one finger, but
yeah, it's growing.
Just for a second.
Just see how it feels.
It seems to be growing back. I guess I was fortunate enough to. I just missed the nail, so I just got like a nice little divot in my finger that I've been Googling, and it appears that maybe it's permanent. I don't know, but it doesn't really hurt.
Sometimes you cut it just right and it doesn't hurt. I mean, I cut my finger in the pizzeria and it was gushing blood. I didn't even feel a thing. The only thing I felt when it was healing, it was itchy. That was it.
Right. Well, thank God.
And the kitchen was covered in blood.
Oh yeah. You remember that day? Were you there?
I was.
Oh, I went to cut bread and I don't even know. I grabbed the knife off the magnet. I cut a few pieces of bread, turned around talking, looked back, blood everywhere.
Well, that's your problem. Anytime you had a knife in your hand at the pizzeria, you were doing everything but paying attention to the fact that you had a knife in your hand.
Yeah, but 10 years, I cut myself once. Maybe twice. I don't remember. Definitely once, maybe twice.
I never cut myself working at the pizzeria. With a knife. I cut myself on those tin foil pieces of shit. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I cut myself only once, but kind of miraculous because, yeah, I mean, you cut just as much or if not more than me, but I paid, if as not much, a hell of a lot less attention than you. So,
right.
I mean, just once. It's pretty impressive.
I guess you're right. Hard to argue with that.
But the best part of that is Mo. I'm gushing blood, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta put salt and vodka on that." He comes over with the vodka. We use the vodka sauce and like a fucking cup of salt, douses it in vodka, and then throws the salt on there. He goes, "Does that burn?" Like, I don't even really feel anything. He goes, "Needs more."
For For our viewership out there, Mo is Mexican and Brian does not do a Mexican accent.
Mo spoke pretty good English.
Also, for our quote-unquote viewership, I'm impressed if you're actually seeing this.
I don't think.
Hearing, no one's seen this.
Hey, oh, there it
to
is.
my knowledge.
It went right over my head.
See this?
Yeah, I think we're doing folks a favor by not video recording this.
All this is, it's me laughing at Brian being way too close to the camera, and Matt's face just as a standstill because he has no video.
Right.
I
Right.
like to lean in towards my camera at some points. I stretch.
Usually we talk about you two going on trips. This past week, I actually took a trip. I went on a short vacation in South Carolina. We drove down there. It was me and Kim, and what is it like? It's like a 12-hour drive to where we were going. Yeah. So we're headed down, and full day of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get home. I drive to Kim's house. We eat some dinner, and then we just go out that night. just head out on no sleep for this 12-hour drive. Seems like a good idea. We're rolling in shifts, so it's like 4 hours, like 2 and 2. So
Good math.
yeah, what?
That was correct. I was complimenting your math.
Oh, thank you. So we're headed down there, and I'm exhausted, and Kim's out. Right, she's asleep. I'm driving, and what do you know about, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think Georgia?
Peaches?
Thank you. Okay, good. So we're on the same page. I'm driving. I see a water tower. The water tower is not just your ordinary water tower. It is decorated as a gigantic peach. And I'm thinking, well, shit. I've gone too far.
Yeah, I mean, when you were just saying this, I'm not good at geography, although I should be since I do travel the world. But I feel like Georgia is that point in the directions where everyone would say you've gone too far if South Carolina is your destination.
Well, apparently South Carolina and Georgia are in an open relationship with peaches. I was unaware until I got down there.
Yeah, I mean, I would not think that.
But that was a hell of a drive. But anyway, it was like, nice to be away, because I hate people. You know that.
Yeah.
Wow. People are the worst.
So, just being away from the city in general, it's like that really slow pace. Everything's just so different down there, and I was really enjoying it. Like we visited her friend, and she works on a farm, and she has a horse down there, and
Of course.
yeah, we go take out the horse one day, and so, I'm just really enjoying this very different than my normal everyday thing. And a few days pass. We're gonna go home. So first thing we do is we go get some breakfast, right, at their local IHOP.
Yeah.
And so far it's just like I've been really enjoying this. Like, there's so many strange things. Like, we were in like this farmhand store, and there's just a sign that's like, llamas for sale, $200. Call this number.
Did you call
it?
No, but it was awesome.
An entire llama for $200? I feel like that's not. What are the margins on a llama?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. But
Can you eat those?
You can eat everything.
Up until now, that was the weirdest part of the trip, right? It was just like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's different. We're sitting, waiting for our breakfast because it took forever to come because things move a lot slower down there.
And they had to kill the llama for the meat.
Right. I overhear this group of people in front of us talking to the waitress, and they were talking about the waitress, I'm pretty sure, was talking about either her son or her brother. I'm not 100% sure who it was. But I overheard two very distinct parts of the conversation. One of them was, the gun was in the weed. How is that even a robbery? I don't know what led to that. So, here and there I'm like, what? So I keep, I'm paying attention, like, in bits and pieces. And I hear one woman ask her, so whatever happened to him? Oh, he stabbed his cousin 11 times. And I'm like, Jesus!
I don't really have words for this, except, was that supposed to be a southern accent?
No. Oh, I wasn't even trying to do an accent.
Listen, Mr. Mexican, that was way better.
Oh God. Did you ask them? Like, did you get up the balls to be like, what?
No, I was just concerned. I was just sitting there hoping that I would hear some more about the story, but there were no more details.
So you don't
Was
have
it-
any more? You don't know if he's dead from
I
being
just know
stabbed 11 times?
no. I just know that he stabbed his cousin 11 times. I don't know who he exactly is, but
And you really don't know what he stabbed him with. Maybe he stabbed him with his penis in the ass 11 times. You don't know.
well, either way, the gun was in the weed, and that's no robbery.
Yeah, but you don't stab someone with a gun, so you're stabbed with something. That is a fun quote.
Um,
So anything else happened there?
Not really. It was just like, that was the weirdest thing that happened while we were down there. On the way back, I'm still like, wow, it's just like it was really nice. There's a nice change of pace, and what about? And I've realized that there's a 4 hour like radius. Let's put it in time, right? There's a 4 hour radius outside. I feel of when I go from, well, this was really nice getting away. I could actually deal with these people to I want to punch everybody in the face.
I feel like that no matter where I am, no matter what day, no matter what mood. I just want to punch everybody.
It was just like all of that relaxation, everything was just completely undone by a trip to a Dunkin' Donuts 4 hours from home.
To
Just the
To be-
dumbest people.
to be fair, I feel like you're setting unrealistic expectations of service when you're going to IHOPs and Dunkin'
Okay,
Donuts.
well, and I'll agree with you there with the IHOP because there's always something going down at IHOP.
Oh
but
yeah,
at
you
Dunkin'
have
Donuts,
no idea.
at Dunkin' Donuts on the way down, I was like, we stopped like on the way down, but we were past that 4 hour mark for some coffee, and like, genuinely just the nicest people working behind the counter. It's like, I will have a great night, and I hope you do as well. I'm gonna go enjoy my coffee for the next 10 hours as we drive away. But when we
What kind
come
of
back,
coffee lasts 10 hours?
you sip it really slow when you need to stay awake.
A really big one. A big gulp.
Big gulps, huh?
All right.
All right.
Well, see you later.
Best product placement of all time.
Yeah, and this episode is brought to you by Big Gulp.
Or
Oh
dumb.
man, quick story there. So couple months ago, we were in the office, and there's maybe like 30, 40 people in a big conference room. It was in an internal meeting. We were doing a training, and the tension in the room is pretty high. It's a pretty serious topic. Talking about company future and stuff like that. And some guy like presenting to the group goes, hold on, John, is that a big gulp that you're drinking right now? And we just look at him, and everyone's business formal, not even business casual on this particular day, and this kid is just going to town on a Coca-Cola flavored big gulp.
Wait a second. Aren't Big Gulps just the big cups to put your fountain drink into?
No. Well,
Yes.
I suppose you could put anything in it, but typically the big gulp holds, and it's the house of the Slurpee.
No, it's not.
No,
They have
no,
Slurpee
it-
cups.
The Big Gulp is just their general fountain drink. Their gigantic gallon size.
Well, then this guy had a Slurpee in a big gulp cup, which I guess is even more absurd. I thought that was the normal.
No.
Uh,
Be,
Well,
but
see you later.
Before we get derailed anymore and just lose all listenership, I want to. We actually.
Listenership?
Yeah, it sounds like a good word at the time. So at the end of last episode, we gave our email address. If you had any questions, comments, anything, and against all odds, we got an email. So I'm just gonna read this in its entirety. It's not all that long, and then we'll go back and touch on whatever questions were there. So the email reads, "Hey boys, my name is Kristen from Iowa. Stumbled across your show and glad I did. You guys seem to walk the line of racism where it's funny, not offensive. Brian's job sounds so cool, always traveling to new places. What is it you do? And not to leave out you other guys, what do you do? Brian, your travel shenanigans are great and should always be spoken about, so I have 2 questions. First, what's the first system you guys had your best memory playing? Second, what's the craziest thing you guys have seen living in New York? I hear it can be wild. Love the show, keep it up, and how about a shout out? Thanks, Kristen. Now,
Does that suffice for the shout out, or do you actually have to do a quote
see,
unquote
I
shout
don't
out?
understand. I feel like reading that almost is a shout out, but
I think
anyway,
that's solid.
shout out to Kristen in Iowa,
Shout out to our listener.
our one listener. Yeah, so I mean, we definitely we appreciate the email, and I want to know. I'm very interested in how you stumbled across our show.
Yeah, because I can't even find it. Brian had to send it to me.
Now, Matt had an interesting idea. Now, she says she's from Iowa. I was actually weird enough in Iowa when I received this email. So Matt thinks maybe like some kind of IP thing. I don't know, like it was something posted in her location and she was able to find it. Either that or that was just a freaking weird coincidence. I was in Iowa when I got an email from Kristen in Iowa.
Yeah, I think that's just a coincidence.
I don't know. And I think that line we walk of racism will eventually go into the racism and not funny and just make it awkward pretty soon. But so I get this a lot that my job is cool.
Oh, you were serious. Sorry.
Uh,
I'm kind of a big deal.
no.
People know me.
I actually I got this today too. This girl was like, "Oh, your job sounds so cool." It
What
sounds
girl? I'm calling you out on that comment right now. What girl said this to you? IHOP, 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts.
in Portland, Maine's airport when I was flying home today. She was talking to me about her carry-on and what the green tag and gate checking means, and then they called me to the desk to recheck in because I got my first class upgrade, and then she's like, "How'd you get that?" So I said, "I fly all the time, so I get upgrades sometimes." She goes, "Oh, it sounds cool. What do you do?" And I said that, and she's like, "Oh, it sounds awesome. Sounds so cool." I'm like, "No," because in short answer, no, my job is not cool.
You told her what you do. She's like, "Oh."
No, I mean honestly, like whenever friends hear about my job, most of the time they think it sounds awesome. Like fly around at someone else's expense, stay in hotels, got no one breathing down your neck when you're in these hotels. But in reality, it sucks traveling alone all the damn time.
Yeah, I've always said that your job sounds really fun for max a year.
Yeah, it not even. It was fun for like. I mean, because you gotta go back. I mean, this job I've had like 7 months now, 8 months, something like that. But the other job I had over a year of traveling as well. So, I'm over 2 years of traveling, and I just want to say I was burnt out after like, I don't know, a couple weeks. It's misery. Nothing is worse than sitting in a hotel room by yourself. It is.
I think there is one thing worse, Brian. If you're sitting at a hotel by yourself playing Warcraft.
Well, because of you, I did play Warcraft again, but yeah, you suck. You also got Falco into it, and he never likes these games, and he was addicted. He sent me a text after we were done playing. Yo, I'm really addicted.
It is
the
addicting.
ultimate game. I know, Matt. I know.
It's the ultimate game. It's addicting. And can I tell you guys something right here, right now?
Lay it on us.
I'm playing Warcraft right now.
God damn it! I hear you clicking. You're gonna be clicking through this entire podcast.
Right. Well,
What are you doing?
It's I'm playing I'm being encompassed in the ultimate game.
Yeah, but what are you doing in the game?
He's running errands.
That is all you really have time.
So now
for the game.
you're trying to be funny, but most of the game is running errands. They just call it questing, although I can't tell you the last time I quested for my dry cleaning.
Okay. So anyway, to get back to this email, my job, I'm a field service engineer, which is not cool. And hey, what do you guys do? I mean, an answer would be great, boys.
Oh, I'm waiting for Matt, but apparently he's too busy
He's playing Warcraft.
Right.
I'm a front-end engineer at a startup.
I'm a sales engineer. I guess that rounds up being engineers.
I mean, I don't
Pretty
think
much
you're an
have all of our
engineer.
All of our bases covered.
Since when is Matt an engineer?
Since January?
Hold on.
What level of engineering would you say you do, Matt?
What is a sales engineer? Don't tell me you engineer sales. That is not engineering.
Well, there's a lot of titles for what I do. There's solution consultant. There's sales engineer. There's sales consultant. There's solutions engineer. There's a lot of.
I don't typically put the word engineer near sales.
Oh, there's a position near my field called content engineer.
All right, I give up.
That made me livid.
Anthony, who's that? Who's the guy that used to come into your old office in a cowboy hat and a lab coat? What did he do exactly?
Oh, data scientist.
Data scientist.
Yeah, he's not kidding.
Yeah.
We had a legit lab coat cowboy running around.
Brian, that could be your dad someday.
I can't wait. In like two or three more weeks, we're going to Virginia, and he's just gonna be dressed as a cowboy the entire time we're there, and he's gonna fit right in. It's like, where'd he go? It's just a group of guys. Oh, there he is. Like it's gonna be good.
Do you find there's many cowboys in Virginia? I'm not sure I get the reference.
I mean, more than you find here.
I guess that's fine. That's true.
That's fair.
We're not going near like Virginia Beach. We're going like inland.
Did you say England?
I said inland.
London, Virginia. Very nice this time of year.
Jesus. So, the questions she asked, our first system and our best memory playing it. I mean, I think we've discussed most of that shit already. So, obviously she's not a real fan.
Definitely discredit.
Wow.
Definitely discredit and alienate the one person that has been kind enough to listen to us. Well, thank you. My job is great. Let me talk about it some more. I actually get this. I get this a lot. Just the other day at the airport, I had some girl asking me, "How do you get all those upgrades?" Well, let me tell you, sweet thing. I fly a lot for work.
I mean, that just sounds like jealousy now.
I literally travel for work.
Speaking of traveling for work, I went to Rochester. I get to the rental car, and they actually had cars this time. It wasn't one of those fiascos.
Woo.
But so I usually reserve like a mid-size or full-size, depending on just how much it costs. So I reserved the full-size. So I get to the counter, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have any full-size." She goes, "I have a Spark or a Dodge." Now, I know what a Spark is. It's a little piece of shit. And I'm like, I don't want that. And I'm like, I'll take the Dodge. Now, I didn't realize Dodge is a maker. I mean, I know that obviously, but at the time, like I was just thinking about Dodge. Like I'm thinking like Dodge Charger. Like yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What do you get? The Dart? Avenger?
No, just wait. So she hands me the keys, and I'm walking. She's like, "Oh, you're in spot like C14 or whatever the hell it is." So I'm walking out there, and I look at the keys, and the keys have like all the car information on it. So it says Dodge, and then underneath that, it says CARAV. I'm like, I really hope this stands for car all-terrain vehicle and not caravan.
Oh, the good old car all-terrain vehicle.
So of course it was not car all-terrain vehicle. It was caravan.
Yes.
And there is a minivan sitting in spot C14 with my name on it.
Soccer mom, Brian Rooney.
Yeah, I did feel like a soccer mom. I felt like I had to make 2 stops before I went anywhere. I had to go to like Walmart or Target, like some store like that, and get like a soccer like magnet to put on the back. And then I had to go to like the local like public school and get my child as an honor student at PS whatever and just drive around. I felt like those were necessities for that.
I thought you were going to tell me you were going to stop at your local school and pick up children. I was very concerned.
No, not pick up children, just that my child is an honor student at their school.
Like you're allowed near schools anymore.
Yeah, it's up. I can go back.
Interesting.
Yeah. So actually, the caravan, though, it pains me to say this. It was kind of cool.
Run me down some of the features.
The doors. So the driver's
The
side.
doors.
Yeah. The doors.
Whoa.
All right, let's start with the back doors. So the two back doors, the ones that you like pull out and slide across.
Yeah, they're doors. Got it.
Yes. No. But they don't open like normal car doors. They're like minivan doors. Like they're fucking stupid. You have like out and slide. They open and close automatically from the keychain.
Wow.
Yeah. And the driver's side door, you touch a button on there and it just like pops. It doesn't open, it just pops. So you just pull it, which is kind of what you do anyway, so it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know. It was kind of interesting though. It makes like a poof sound.
So you can accidentally open your car door from far away from your car and then have to go actually close it.
Yeah, the back doors you can close on the keys, but the front door, yeah, I guess that be a problem. Yeah.
Stupid Dodge.
Yeah, but so yeah, not an all-terrain vehicle, a caravan. Soccer mom Brian driving around Rochester, New York.
It could be an all-terrain vehicle if you wanted to.
I don't know.
Just go for it next time. It's a rental. Get that extra insurance and see what you can do.
I deny all insurance. My company tells me if I put it on their credit card that somehow insurance covers it. I don't really know how true that is. It doesn't sound correct.
Is it Namex?
Yeah, it is.
Then yeah, it's covered.
Well,
They have a lot of deals like that. I have that on my personal one.
Oh. I mean, it's interesting, so I just deny everything.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do if I got into an accident. I did not see that guy coming. What? This is not my fault.
So, Ed, I don't know where you were yesterday, but Matt and I were on Skype with Falco, and we were all playing Warcraft for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about Warcraft. Don't worry. Despite what Matt wants to do right now, I'm not talking about Warcraft.
It's not what he wants to do. He's actively doing it. You can hear the clicking happen.
Yeah. So we played this game. It was free on Steam. It was called The Hunter. And Matt heard all that was going on during this game. It was a little rough to get into a game together, but The Hunter is actually what it sounds like. By the way, it's one word. The Hunter, one word. I don't know. But you're hunting animals. Like, it's not like a war game or anything. It is a hunting sim. And you are dropped in a forest, well, on a path, and you could go off the path into the forest and you look for animals. So Falco and I, we joined a game and we're looking at each other. You could take out a camera in the game, so we took pictures of each other.
What is it, Pokemon Snap?
Oh, great game. No. So then they're like, all right, let's go shoot something. We venture off the path. We're in like the like forest, like, trees and birds constantly. You hear woodpeckers like pecking wood, and like it's just crazy. So we're walking around for, I don't know, Matt, you could verify this. I would say a good 10 to 15 minutes without spotting an animal. Now, it's a hunting game. You would think like they'd be fucking everywhere.
No, it's a hunting simulator.
Yeah, right. So that's
you
what
gotta set up a tent and you wait.
No, I quickly learned it's not an arcade game. It's a sim game. When someone typed into chat, Bruins, if you want to find an animal, stop fucking running. So I finally stopped running and I found like a water area, and standing on a rock in the water drinking from whatever water it was a deer. So like, yes, finally. 35 minutes later after starting this game, I see an animal I could shoot. Line up my shot, shoot it. I'm so excited. I killed an animal. Someone even said like awesome in the chat because there's 8 of us hunting in this area, which is weird. I don't understand why there'd be 8 of us, but there was 8. So everyone's happy because it shows that we killed something. Then I'm like, all right, I like this game. Maybe I'll actually play this. So I venture even more out into the woods. Now, like 5 minutes later, I think I spot another deer. I crouch down, tune the scope into him. I'm ready to shoot right into its freaking throat. And it says, you do not have a license to hunt white-tailed deer. Purchase a license. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I just uninstalled the game.
Yo, when you're playing the game, do you see the other guys you're playing with
Yeah.
in the map?
Yeah.
Can you shoot them?
No, the first thing Falco did was try to shoot me in the face.
Oh, it'd be great if there's 8 of you in the room and you send one of them off and you just hunt that guy.
Most dangerous game.
You know it.
But yeah, it was fun until the free to like play shit gets thrown in your face, and they're like, "Hey, you want to hunt this animal? Come give us $15 a month." Like that's Warcraft prices. I can't afford Warcraft and the Hunter.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then I played another game. I've been playing so many fucking games this week. I bought a game on my phone called Dungelot.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Did you stumble across that name and go, that sounds cool? Like, what made you pick that one?
I did. I was like, Camelot and Dungeons have a baby, Dungelot. It's awesome.
Such a tool.
Yeah. So it was 99 cents. And one thing I look at, I don't know if you two do this, whenever there's a game that you have to pay for, I look at like the store listings, scroll all the way down to the bottom and see if it has in-app purchases. And if it does, I'm like, fuck this game. Like if you buy it, you should not have to worry about purchasing anything else. So this game was only $1 and it did not have in-app purchases. Now there's an in-game currency, like you collect coins and shit, but there's no way to like get increased coins like by paying real money, so it's awesome. And this game is like a mix of like a turn-based like RPG type thing and Minesweeper, like the old computer game Minesweeper.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, you tap on squares and reveal things in there. Sometimes there's monsters, sometimes there's traps, sometimes there's items.
Cool.
And one monster on the map. So they're very small dungeons. It's like the whole dungeon just takes up like your iPhone screen, nothing more. So you're not moving around really. So
Okay.
one monster has a key, and you need to kill that monster, get the key, and then unlock stairs to the next dungeon. And it's just so addicting, and it's not even like it's that good. It's just addicting, and it's really awesome that it's $1 and there's not in your face like, oh well, you can collect coins here, or you can give us $20 and get this many. Like,
Right,
it's
I hate
not
that.
in your face.
Well, this thing's got like, I'm looking it up right now. It's got like 10,000 reviews and close to 5 stars. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a good time killer. I'm definitely enjoying that. And then I was just playing a bunch of my laptop, like my gaming laptop was down for a while. One of the fans in it, I thought it was broken, and then a friend Gus looked at it, and somehow the casing around the fan.
Orange soda.
Okay. So somehow the casing around the fan like bent in a little bit, and the fan was hitting it as it was turning, so it was just really, really fucking loud. But I don't know how that happened, but anyway. So it's fixed, and my laptop is working. It's not making a shitload of noise. So I was just playing like a backlog of games I was in the middle of, which is Assassin's Creed 2, because that's all I'm up to.
I'm only on the first one, so.
Yes, I'm up to 2. I think I'm almost done with it. Then Metal Gear Rising Revengeance I was playing, which is so fast, so gross, and pretty fun.
Is it? It's good?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll check it out eventually. I mean, I like the old Metal Gear games, so.
it's not like a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, I know, but the storyline is around. It's involved, right?
I don't know how involved it is. I didn't play the Metal Gear games, but I think it's the same universe because it's Raiden and Snake like cross paths from time to time. I think, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was playing that, and then of course Warcraft with Matt and Falco, as I discussed. Then Falco and I took it to the forest and went hunting. I came back today, and The Last of Us Remastered came out.
Oh, did you get it?
did. I did not want to because I'm like, I already beat this. It was a long story. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
play it again. I already did it. No regrets.
Yeah.
It looks like real life on my TV.
I'm gonna have to pick it up. I'm like I've been debating, but I really do want to try out that multiplayer because I never played it.
Oh, the multiplayer is awesome. That was the first thing I did. Actually, it's such a big download if you buy it digitally. It's like 50 gigs. So it tells you what do you want to play first, single player or multiplayer. So it downloads that portion first and downloads the rest in the
Oh,
background. So
that's
I hit
sweet.
multiplayer and I was playing the multiplayer for a while. It looks amazing. The multiplayer, I like it because it's so like challenging. Like it's really difficult, and
Yeah.
it's almost like the Gears of War style. Like if you get shot, you go down, and you can crawl like to get someone to revive you. They have to come execute you.
Oh, cool.
So it's just so violent, and there's so many different executions. Like sometimes like they'll just like punch them. Another time they'll hit them with the back of their rifle. Another
Right.
time they'll flip them over and just shotgun to the face.
Oh my God.
So it's like it's brutal and it's fun. And that the graphics on there when I was playing it, I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, I could see a slight difference in some things, but it looked very similar to the PS3 one. And I was like, shit, maybe this is a waste of money. But as soon as I started the campaign, I was like, wow. Like
Yeah.
I was like that. Am I looking at my TV or out the window at a zombie apocalypse? Which one is it?
Yeah, I mean, if I pick that game up again and I started playing through the campaign, I definitely wouldn't regret it. I mean, it's one of the best stories I've ever played.
Yeah. And speaking of zombie apocalypse, tonight actually I finished it about a half hour before we jumped on this. Dana and I watched a movie. She picked it. Usually I pick terrible movies, but she picked this, so I can't be blamed. It was called Contracted.
Okay.
It was about this girl, and she was a lesbian, which really didn't have much to do with the plot, except she was trying to get some girl, which didn't really matter. Um, so some lesbian was at a party talking to a girl, and then some strange guy comes over, sweet talks her, and fucks her in his car, and she's just like contracting like a sexually transmitted disease after that, and it follows like the next 3 days in her life. Like
Jesus.
she's got like crazy like vaginal bleeding, like it looks like a bomb blew up in her vagina and just like came out. Like that's how much blood was in there. Um, her eyes like go all red. Her fingernails start coming off. Like it's really fucking like weird. Oh, maggots fall out of her vagina at one point.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're killing me.
Yeah. So it was really gross. Like just this girl like, and it was pissing off Dana because no one was telling this girl to go to the emergency room. Not even a doctor she went to. He's like, well, I gotta wait for the results of your blood test to know how to treat this. So, big spoilers for if anyone ever to watch this movie called Contracted, which I don't recommend. Um, she's just transforming into like this gruesome like looking thing. Like her eyes are all fucked. She's losing her hair, no fingernails, blood everywhere, maggots in her vagina, and
Stop
she
saying that.
maggots in her vagina.
Uh,
Back to the maggots. So one falls out like earlier, and it's like, was that? I think that was a maggot. Was that a magnet? Dane, was that a magnet? I don't know. I think it was a magnet.
a
Magnet.
magnet?
Maggot. And then at the end, she's like gone crazy and killed a few people, and then some guy that was obsessed with her, she's like, you know what? I look like shit. He'll still fuck me. Let me call him and fuck him. So that happens, and he like pulls out, and just a shitload of maggots and
Stop.
yeah, a bunch of
No,
maggots and
this
blood
is
hit the
so
floor.
Okay.
All right, so we're done with the maggots now.
I
That
think
came
we
out of
should
her vagina and hit the floor.
Pursue this thing with a segment of time where people should just not listen.
No. So,
Oh.
all right, I'm not gonna say it anymore. I'm done with that. So then she gets in a car and she just like passes out onto the steering wheel while driving, and just crashes. And it goes black. I'm like, please don't roll the credits. Like I want something a little more satisfying than that. And then the black like fades away and it comes back into frame and her face is on the steering wheel. She pulls back, gets out of the car like growling and shit. And then her mom is there and a bunch of cops, and the mom is talking to her, and she just like runs at the mom, moaning and growling, and endgame she became a zombie. So this guy fucked her and she contracted the zombie virus, and she became a zombie.
Was there any inkling that that was going to happen, like that the movie was going towards zombies?
Not really. You didn't know
Just
what it was. You knew it wasn't a typical like syphilis or something, but it was just like you didn't know. You weren't expecting zombie.
that's disgusting.
And if you were expecting zombie, I'm just retarded and doesn't pay attention. Nor did I
Which is
really.
very likely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That could definitely be the case, but I don't think that it was hinted at really. I think she just So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Lovely. Did you see the Lego Movie?
I love that movie.
Oh my god, I saw it while I was on vacation. It's fantastic.
Wait, you saw it for the first time now?
Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
I I just our friendship died a little bit because you waited this long to see the Lego movie.
Ah, it was unbelievable. I just want like the everything is awesome. I want that to be like the theme song when I wake up. Like I want that. That needs to be my alarm clock song.
That can't be my alarm clock song because everything is not fucking awesome. I hate this world. I had to drive. First off, I woke up today in Maine and had to fly home to do a job in Manhattan. So I fly home from Maine. I land in Newark. I got to drive to Manhattan to do this job, but I had to swing home first. So I mean I live close to Newark Airport, so no big deal. So I go home and I'm driving into Manhattan. As soon as I get out of the Battery Tunnel, of course it's Manhattan. There's always traffic. And at first I'm like, all right, I'm only going to 19th Street. That's not that far. Like I can deal with a little traffic. No. I just started thinking like if I had a shotgun, my life would just be so much better right now. I would just first off, I would just go on like the sidewalk and start playing bowling with pedestrians if there was like no consequences for anything. Just start speeding, mowing down these pieces of shit that don't care about traffic, which is kind of hypocritical because when I'm a pedestrian, I don't give a shit about traffic in New York, so I get where they're coming from. But when I'm on the other side of it, fuck you. So I just want to mow them all down with like a shotgun or a machine gun, hang out my window shooting the other side, like the other sidewalk, just blasting them as I'm running down these people, just because this like road rage that comes out of you driving in Manhattan. Cab drivers are dicks. People suck. The lights are never in sync. Everything is one ways. I fucking hate Manhattan. So everything is not awesome, Anthony, but that movie is pretty awesome.
Bro, speaking of Manhattan, I mean, like, yeah, when you're driving, pedestrians suck. When you're a pedestrian, the driver sucks, right? But there's like one particular thing that irks me to no end, and that's when you're going down into the subway, and there's some douche that's standing on the stairs, like either getting that last text in or calling somebody, but just blocking all of the foot traffic. I think I have every right to kick you down the steps.
Yeah, and I find that pretty infuriating. But what I find more infuriating is when the subway train come. Like when you're on the subway, you're stopped.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Oh yeah,
I know where
I'm going.
I plow through people now. I
don't give a fuck. That door opens and these people think they have entitlement to get on. No, bitch, I'm getting
out
off.
Before in.
Yeah. We get out and make room for you to come in.
This is a PSA. When the train comes, step away from the goddamn door.
I really love people that take it like too far though. They're just like getting off as they're pushing. Like some lady pissed me off so bad the other day that not only did I knock it out of her way because she was shoving me for no reason. It really wasn't even a crowded car, but I made sure I let her know that I was staying on.
I've seen that before. The getting off.
It's just like it's just annoying. Like anyone that announces like they're narrating their life for me, like when people are running outside and they're like left, and then they just pass people on the left. It's just horrible.
Well, didn't the military start that with their marching?
I don't know. I'm not going to bash the military. I'm also not going to go off on a murder tangent like you did. You really were facilitating murder back there.
I was driving in Manhattan for far too long, and that will bring out murder in anybody.
Although, to be fair, the biggest thing stopping murder is the law against murder. If that didn't exist, I don't know what would stop it.
Well, I was saying if there was no consequences, that's what I would do. I would bowl with my car as the ball, pedestrians as the pins, and then just have target practice with pedestrians on the other side of the street. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm sure there'd be like moral consequences.
Um, you would think, but pedestrians in Manhattan don't deserve to live.
Right. I'm one of those people. Here's what you have to keep in mind. These
How's a
folks,
pedestrian?
many of these folks, especially in Manhattan, don't drive themselves. So you just gotta give them the benefit of the doubt of the ignorance plea. That being said, it's obviously very annoying. But I think something can be said to folks driving in Manhattan. There really is not a need to do it.
Pedestrians hate the drivers, and the drivers hate the pedestrians. But at least we all agree that the bikers suck.
Um, I kind of envy the bikers sometimes. Like,
No,
yeah.
they're
Oh,
assholes.
no, hear me out here. So I
Alright.
told you I was in traffic today, and we have those city bikes. And if anyone listening doesn't know what those are, it's bikes you could rent. Like, they're just like these stations. You rent the bike, drive it to another station, like wherever you're going, and drop it off there. So I was sitting in traffic, and I see this woman getting a city bike, and I was just thinking, like, that's probably a better way to get around the fucking city than this. And yeah, I zoned out, and like I just see this woman going like speeding past me on that bike. I'm like, motherfucker, it is a better way to get around. And then I made a turn onto whatever freaking street I had to turn onto. I don't remember. There was no traffic. Well, I mean Manhattan, no traffic. So I moved like quite a number of blocks, and I wasn't paying attention really to bikers or pedestrians that I was passing. So I'm just going decently far for Manhattan without traffic. I've made up a lot of ground, and now I'm in traffic again. That same little bitch on the bike goes speeding past me. It's like, fuck you. She definitely would have beat me to where we were going if we had the same destination in mind, which we did not, to clarify.
And that's fine. Like, being on the bike, maybe it's going to get you there faster, but I feel like every person that I've encountered on a bike, they're, like, doubly inconsiderate.
And they don't wear helmets. I mean, I know it doesn't look cool, but we don't drive well as New Yorkers. Like, as a whole, we don't really drive well. I mean, not as bad as New Jersey, but, you know, we're still pretty bad. And I would be petrified to be riding a bike without a helmet on in New York City. That's just me, though.
I hate driving in New York.
Well, obviously, I love it after this tangent. I love driving, right? Can't you tell? I had to drive to freaking Boston tomorrow, another fucking city that's retarded to drive through. Because I can't fly. Don't get me started on that. But
Brian's getting upset.
let's change this up. Let's go back to the Lego movie. Let's get Brian happy again.
Everything is awesome.
How great was Charlie Day's character?
Oh my god, so good.
Spaceship! Spaceship! Matt, have you seen this movie?
I have not.
Oh, gee. You know, I think we're going back to you off the podcast.
I think I'm okay with that. I just don't want to. I just don't want any more medicine.
But the Lego movie, were you seeing where they went with that? Like, did you think that was what it was going to be?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
that was awesome.
Because everything is awesome.
You're such an idiot. It was so good though. I really loved it. I saw that, and I also saw About Time. That was pretty solid.
About Time?
Yeah, it was really good.
What is that?
This young guy finds out on his 21st birthday from his father that all the men in their family have the ability to travel in time.
Oh yeah, I saw that coming trash.
Yeah.
That didn't interest.
It was excellent.
Yeah, me and you have different like opinions of what's excellent in a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that's excellent. I think like ghost serial killer that dresses like, I don't know, a Midwestern guy in the 24th century is interesting. That should be a movie. I just came up with that right now. Write that down.
I want to know how many people would align themselves with your view of a good movie against mine.
Well, I was watching a movie today on the plane that wasn't as obscure as most of the movies. I was watching Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
I had no desire to see it, but was it any good?
I watched. It's fucking long. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I watched like an hour and like a half, I think, or an hour 40 minutes, something like that. But the flight's not long. Like it's only like a half-hour flight to Maine, so like I didn't get to watch the whole movie in 2 trips. So, um, but it was holding my attention. Like I'm probably gonna finish that, if not tonight, tomorrow, sometime soon. It's interesting. I like it. It's hard to see Tom Cruise as a badass because he's like 5'2" and kind of like flamboyant and acting like a badass. And it's like like when there's a fight scene and
Wait,
like,
I'm sorry. Are you saying that Tom Cruise is he's not believable as a badass in a movie? Do I need to rattle off Tom Cruise movies right now for you?
if Mission Impossible is one of them, he doesn't come off as a badass in that.
I don't know. A little movie called Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, well, modern, present day Tom Cruise not come off as a badass. Can you agree with that?
I guess he's lost a little luster for sure.
He just the way he speaks is not like a badassery way of speaking. Like
Well, there's also that whole he believes aliens created the world kind of thing.
I mean, I also believe L. Ron Hubbard as the correct. I can't even finish that sentence. Yeah, he's a freak show. No, but in this movie, there's like a fight scene, and there's like 5 people like surrounding him, and he's like trying to like say like, "You sure you want to do this? Like, are you sure?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, of course," or whatever. I don't remember what the actual dialogue was, but before Tom Cruise beats the shit out of him, his words were, "Remember, you asked for this." Like, you just sounded so gay, not cool, not like a badass, like a queer, and. That's actually, you know what? That's an insult to gay people because they would probably sound more badass than he just did.
I don't know. I still like the idea of Tom Cruise as an action star. So who's your favorite, regardless of movie? Who's the person you want to see headlining like every summer blockbuster action movie, or is it very per movie type? Do you think? Like I really like that dude from The Hurt Locker, whose name isn't important enough for
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I know what it is now. I'm just gonna go ahead and not remember that. But he, for Hurt Locker, and he's Hawkeye and Avengers, and
Yeah.
he really springs up in a lot of movies. I'm a big fan of him, and I also like that young kid that's in the new Star Trek movies that plays Kirk. He's
Chris
pretty
Pine.
good.
I like
Yeah.
Chris Pine.
I like Chris Pine. I'm a big fan of Tom Hardy.
I like Tom Hardy. He's gonna play
Mad Max, baby.
I was getting that Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I never saw the first Mad Max, so I'm not all about it yet.
The first 3?
Well, I meant like the originals. Well, I don't care how old he is. Bruce Willis, put him in everything. Fucking love him.
So good.
Yeah, I'll tend to agree with you there.
You probably won't agree with me here, but I wish Die Hard was like an annualized movie. Like every fucking year, Die Hard.
You're right. I don't agree with you there.
I don't agree with you there either.
I love them. Love Die Hard.
You're trying to turn Die Hard into, Medea lives free or dies hard.
If Tyler Perry can make a movie every 6 months, why can't Bruce Willis?
Do you know how much money Tyler Perry's worth? I looked this up because he's clever with the branding of his movies and puts Tyler Perry Presents and Tyler Perry Presents, don't you dare go see this movie this summer. And because he brands it that way, he's worth like over $500 million when he really should be worth maybe 50 or less, but he's worth a lot of money.
Now, I have hatred towards Tyler Perry, and I can't pinpoint why. I don't know why I don't like this man. I will not see any of his movies. And a couple years ago, whenever it was, when that Alex Cross movie came out, I didn't know what Tyler Perry looked like because I hated him so much. I didn't want to know what he looked like. And I saw this movie, and I was like...
That's a new kind of hatred. You think people say that about like Jesus?
Probably. So back to what I'm saying here. I hate Tyler Perry so much. I don't want to know what he looks like. So this trailer for Alex Cross is playing, and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. I think that was supposed to be a good book. Maybe I'll read the book, then see the movie, see how it goes. And then it shows Tyler Perry. I'm like, well, fuck that. And I still never saw it or read the book because I knew he was associated with Alex Cross. I didn't even want to read the book.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I hate him.
So I mean, we have a lot of obvious candidates for male action stars, but who do you pick in the female category for people you'd enjoy more than just their looks to be in like a starring or at least co-starring role in an action movie?
I mean,
are you big ScarJo fans?
No.
Sort of, but I think there's only one correct answer. Lucy Lawless, Xena, warrior princess.
Oh man.
That's it. And then you get Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, fuck Dwayne Johnson, and you're good to go.
Oh man.
And for the record, I did not have to look up those names. I committed those to memory.
Oh, I know.
I'm sitting here playing Dungelot.
You're a special kind of person.
Who wins in a straight up brawl? Lucy Lawless in her prime.
Are you gonna say China next?
Or China?
I knew it.
They're both they're both in the same amount of armor, if you will. Who wins? Both in their prime.
I mean, I gotta go with Lucy here.
Wow.
I mean, China. No, I hated her.
You hated her?
Yeah, she was like when we watched wrestling, like you didn't like China. She was like the manly girl. You wanted to be like cool and like the girly girls, whose names I can't remember at the moment.
Right.
They were that memorable, but we remember China, so my point's not valid anymore.
No, it doesn't appear to be.
Oh. So, is yours a ScarJo, I suppose?
I mean, there's not a whole lot of example these days. You got ScarJo, you got Angelina Jolie.
Who was that one in Columbiana?
I don't know. I mean, I guess technically Jennifer Lawrence is in the category.
Well, then I would pick her then.
I guess she's pretty
awesome.
great. Did you get, what was that movie that she was in with Bradley Cooper and Russell Crowe?
No.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Oh my God, it's Russell Crowe.
South Park reference.
Yeah.
Do you mean the guy who played Batman, whose name I can't remember?
Christian Bale? Yep. No, sorry. They're both in the movie. It's Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence.
Wait, what?
Russell Crowe is in that?
American Gangster, right? Or
no,
not?
that's Denzel Washington.
That's Denzel Washington?
Okay, all right. American Hustle, and I'm pretty sure Russell Crowe's not in that movie.
Yeah, he is. I'm
gonna look this up right now. I don't think he is. I did see that movie.
I own it. No.
Christian Bale and Russell Crowe have done a lot of movies together.
I don't recall them ever in a movie together. And
Are you serious?
And that continues with American Hustle because he is not in there.
Correct.
Maybe in my head I remember it's one and then the other.
He was.
I have this thought every time I see one of them. I'm like, wow, they do a lot of movies together.
Did you see that though? Because that movie was awesome.
I didn't like it, but
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I thought Christian Bale was incredible though. Like the character, like he really gets into his characters. I'm not really a big fan of his unless he's cursing out people on the set of Terminator, but I thought he did a great job. Bradley Cooper, his hair, I just couldn't get past it. It was like, what is wrong with you?
Louis C.K.'s like minor roles in that movie are awesome.
Oh yeah, he just got bitched around.
It's so great. He's talking about his brother in the ice fishing. What happened to your brother? He died.
That was good. That's a good call out. He's been in a couple of things. Louis C.K. He's had some Parks and Rec appearances.
Yeah, in the beginning he was.
He was what's her face's boyfriend or date at least.
Yeah, Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler, yeah, great show, great show.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is literally one of my favorite shows.
For like probably about 2 weeks, I couldn't get out of my head him just going, Ann Perkins. That just would not get out of my head.
Oh man, I like one of the first episodes. Aziz's character, who's Tom Haverford, he walks into Ron Swanson's office. Oh no, sorry, Ron Swanson walks into Tom's office and he's to ask him something, and Aziz just goes, Ron Swanson, and then Ron looks at him and goes, Tom. And but like it was just out of nowhere. Like he just like bursted out in song like Ron Swanson.
That's what he does the entire series.
Aziz plays himself, which is incredible.
I don't know how you know what Aziz is like in real life.
Dude, if you listen to his stand up and it's all the same. It's all the same shit. He plays himself. Have you seen Aziz's stand up?
Yeah, I mean, I have, but apparently I forget things because you always bring them up and I never remember those skits.
One of the funniest bits he does is about magic tricks and how black males specifically react to them is one of the funniest bits that I've seen. He goes into this whole. He's like, no, you don't understand. If you see a black guy get a magic trick done to him, it's like his world is shattered for a few seconds. He grabs his head. He's got to walk away. What did I just see? You're messing with his perception of reality. And he goes into this whole thing. He's like, that's my favorite stereotype. He goes, everyone talks about other ones. He goes, this is really the only one that gets me. And then later on, he's talking about he's fortunate enough to be famous now, blah blah blah, and he made a trip to the White House, and he's Aziz he dresses pretty like flashy, right? Like he can't wear a suit. He's got to wear like a tuxedo with like a flower lapel kind of thing.
And red velvet inserts.
Yeah, so he's like, so I'm at the White House and I meet Obama, and I'm like, wow, like this is the president. And he goes, he shakes my hand, and he looks at my flower lapel, and he's like, well, what do you got there? You're gonna pull a rabbit out of that thing? And he goes, which further solidifies my black guy magic trick type of stereotype. It was awesome.
Man, I would like to point out you've been on 3 episodes and have talked about Aziz on 3 episodes.
Yeah, he's real relevant to my life.
Just straight up man.
He all right, last Aziz thing. He tweeted.
But before you touch the last Aziz thing, I just want to say something about Aziz. I like everything he does except that fucking Randy character.
Oh, yeah. So annoying.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
All right, now continue. Bring us back into something happy about Aziz.
He does. He tweeted out the other day. He goes, "Whoa, not to sound racist, but I just saw an Indian guy on a show real quick in a commercial, and I thought it was me."
Oh,
that's fantastic.
It was pretty top notch.
So is that the only comic you really like?
No, I like he's someone I keep up with. I really like Louis C.K. I like Bill Burr. I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him. Angry redhead.
I'm familiar with Bill Burr, and I can't listen to him because every like few words it's and it's like, no, I don't know. That's why you're telling me. But so I can't listen to him.
Interesting.
Is Aziz your favorite though, or do you have a specific?
No, if I had to pick a favorite of like all time, is probably like Chris Rock. I would imagine, or I mean, Carlin and you know some of the
what
older
about
folks. But I think current, if you don't want to call Chris Rock a current, just because I don't know if he's recorded a special in past 3 or 5 years. I mean, Louis C.K. is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
about you, Brad?
and, you might say he's not current, but he did just put out a new special, and no one will agree with me. My favorite is Bob Saget.
Dude, he's so incredibly terrible.
It's so bad that it's awesome.
This all goes back to you loving Norm Macdonald too much because, Bob Saget, he directed a movie, Brian, and who starred in that movie? What was the name of that movie?
It was Dirty Work, starring Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. And I even know in Bob Saget's stand-up, he goes, well, I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually directed and produced a pretty funny movie called Dirty Work. And everyone cheers, and he just bursts out, where the fuck were you guys opening weekend?
Yeah. So you have seen his stand-up, and you obviously laughed if you're quoting it.
Yeah, I've seen some of it. I do like that he ends it with, good night, Michelle. But other than that, he's just trying to, curse too much to kind of shock you of, whoa, Danny Tanner is cursing, and it's not that great. It's good, and there's, a shock factor, but I would not in any way, shape, or form call him my favorite, or really call him a stand-up comedian at all.
Well, I would call him that, and I will call him my favorite.
Are either of you a fan of Jim Jeffries?
I don't know who that is.
Oh man, he's this Australian comedian. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. I don't know. It's just weird now that you can be a stand-up comic and then also be a movie star. That's kind of qualification enough for someone to be yeah, he's funny. Let's just make him act and stuff. Is interesting to me.
Apparently, anything that puts you in media just makes you possible movie star.
I don't know what just made this pop into my head, but also one of my all-time favorite comedians is Mitch Hedberg. If you're not,
oh man,
you're not into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, dude, anything that you're in media, you're just I could do movies, and most of the time, it's done terribly. For example, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, leader of the G Unit. Every fucking song, it's fuck the police and shit like that. That man has been in 9 movies, 8 of which he played a cop. It's disturbing. All right, you will do anything for money.
So what's happened more? Has he played a cop more or gotten shot by a cop more? Because I remember the big thing when he first became famous was about that he got shot 8 or 9 times.
It wasn't by a cop, though.
Did he shoot himself? Maybe he meant shooting movies.
I mean, there's so many things around his getting shot that people said wasn't true and crap like that, but it was not by a cop. And anyone that gets shot, allegedly 9 times and lives to tell the story, just something doesn't add up there. I mean, who gets shot 9 times and one of them in the jaw and just raps? I don't know. That's enough. Do your thing.
I don't know what I usually say.
Well, that's good for me.
Well, that's all we have for this week. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week. As always, you could reach us at sspodcast1@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, we'd be happy to answer them or bring them up on the show.
And possibly offend you.
Most likely offend you.
Sorry, Kristen.